All right. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
There you are. I
The-
see you.
You see me, and I hear you. Since it is me playing, and they have a specific layout, Try is just going to be joining me, just in voice only. But he is watching the chat as normal. For people that do not know us, we are the creators of a YouTube channel called My Life in Gaming, which I guess we're mainly focused. I mean, we're most well known for like getting the best video quality out of your retro consoles, playing on modern displays. But you know, we are fans of older games as well, so we're very excited to be playing Strider tonight.
I mean, Strider is one of your favorites, and for reference, the disembodied voice you're hearing right now, I'm Try, and he's Coury. I don't think we said our names for
That's
those
true.
who
That's
might not know us.
I'm not used to just like introducing myself to a all new audience, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be playing some Strider. I'm gonna switch over to it, and let me. I should be starting right at the beginning here. We'll see
Yeah,
how well I do.
I see Don, the Nintendo freak, in the chat is quite surprised by your game collection, and you know you happen to own a few versions of Strider on that shelf back there behind you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, it's a favorite of yours.
Yeah. I mean, I did not play the CPS one original in the arcade. It just no place near me had it. But of course, I was eager to get the Sega Genesis version, Christmas of 1990, and you know, I do like it, maybe more than the NES game. A lot of people say that the NES game is not that great. I think that the NES game is pretty good, but I do like this one a bit better than that. And I mean, I like the wall climbing, and I'm a big fan of doing cartwheel flips when you jump.
I was just now trying to look up this website I was referencing last week. That had like
That guy crushed me.
It had a lot of math about the aspect ratios of various platforms, and CPS 1 and CPS 2 they have a really high horizontal resolution, because if you don't, you know, obviously we're looking at the game in 4:3 right now, but if you don't squish that aspect ratio back in, as has been done here, and if you were to just represent it with square pixels, as you know, would likely be the case if you weren't being careful with how you were representing it, the game would be much wider than intended. You know, so all the sprites would be, you know, really wide, and it would not look the way that it was supposed to look, you know, on a 4:3 screen. So I forget what the resolution is, but I think both CPS 1 and CPS 2 games use it. I see that SD Shepherd, who was the previous streamer on here, said, such amazing guys for the follow-up. Love all your content. Good luck on the runs. Well, thank you very much.
Well, and he just did like a one credit clear of Mercs, which is, you know, don't expect something similar like that from me.
I mean, you did a video on
very early in the
the
channel's life, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I used the PS1 version for the arcade version in that.
Oh, I see GameSack Official is in here, and Joe was expecting much more from your Strider skills with a Z.
You know, I'm good at the Genesis version, but this one it feels like a little bit. It's definitely more difficult.
I mean, the Genesis version is, you know,
it's very similar.
Shockingly close to this. I mean, in terms of overall presentation. I mean, I never beat the Genesis version. I got really close, but like it was pretty hardcore at the end. I also see that Joe is filling in the gaps for me. The CPS 1 and CPS 2, I guess, are 384 pixels wide. So CPS 1 does what Genesis don't.
I always get a kick out of this because this guy right here, Solo, he's in the cutscene leading into the level, and he says, you know, I'm gonna kill Strider, and then he takes like 3 seconds to kill.
I mean, this is one of your favorite parts of the game.
It might be my favorite part of the game, honestly. The run down the hill. I mean, I remember seeing screenshots of that in Electronic Gaming Monthly for the Genesis version, and I was like, man, it looks so good.
It was like me and the N64. It's like how could they possibly allow you to take this kind of power into your own home?
I always like this part too. I'm a big fan of, you know, finding a way to get onto an airship, and maybe this was my first experience with that, where you ride these things up to the airship Balrog.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I'm the same way. Like it was like like Mario 3 for me. It's like what love of the airship levels. But you know, this is, you know, isn't this kind of considered one of like the first like sort of set piece games? So to speak? I mean, it's pretty early in on that trend. I mean, that's like what single player games are these days, unless they're open world games.
Right.
But you know, non-open world single player games, you know, kind of tend to be, you know, these set piece driven games, and this is a very early example of that.
I always like this right here because there's this person driving the airship, and you're just like, hey. Slice the door down and walk right in.
Well, you know, I mean, he's got to fly the airship. I mean, what's he going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
2-stage clear bonus.
There it is.
Take me to your boss.
Yeah, what's her name? It's like Tong Poo or something like that.
Oh, yeah, she's got a really distinctive name. I forget what it is.
The second Strider game is also excellent. Not the unofficial Strider 2 by US Gold, I guess they just published it, but Return from Darkness Strider 2 or Strider Returns. Not a great game.
I kind of want to play through the NES version someday.
Oh, you totally should.
Which, I mean, it's not really a version. I mean, it's very much its own distinct game. You know, a lot of NES arcade conversions. I mean, the good ones really were, you know, they didn't try to be so literal to the arcade. They kind of made an original game out of it.
Oh, if I get the start there. Okay, good.
And you know, those are. And a lot of those are more remembered than the arcade versions, I think, or more fondly revered. Although in the case of Strider, that's not the case. I think, you know, the arcade version and the Genesis version that is closely based on the arcade version.
Oh, whoops.
So have you only used one? Are you on your first credit, your first coin?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm on my second coin. I accidentally rewound right there. I forgot that there's a rewind feature in this.
Can you you know, I downloaded it last night, you know, when it was available after the Nintendo Direct, and you know, is it 1941 that's free?
42.
Okay, I actually didn't know that it was free when I was on there. The only thing that I noticed that was free was Ghosts and Goblins. is Ghosts and Goblins, right? I always get Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts confused. I have the hardest time keeping the names straight and remember which is the first and which is the second. But yeah, so I downloaded the key for Ghosts and Goblins and played around with it a little bit. But I only had a chance to play it in handheld mode. As far as I could tell, in handheld mode at least, the viewing mode that I liked was view mode B. I think it sort of had like a. I mean, it was a little hard to tell in handheld mode, but I think it had like maybe sort of like a shadow mask almost.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of neat looking.
Which view mode are you using here? I mean, it looks
I'm using the arcade sizing with no filters on it.
Yeah, I mean, the shadow mask filter was so subtle that it kind of struck me as, like, I think it would stream okay. Like, I don't think you'd have, like, a moire pattern or anything.
Right. Yeah, the shadow mask filter is really, really cool.
How do you unlock the other games? I think that aren't there, like, 3 packs that you choose from? Yeah, and so...
Uh-oh.
I forget what they are. They're like $15, $14.99 each or something like that.
Yeah, and they're separated by year, basically. Or
okay. So if you don't like some of the early era stuff, you can just skip that if you want.
Right. I forget how to do this.
Or vice versa.
There we go. What's kind of cool about this is that it's very momentum based, and it's one of the first games I can think of that has animation for different frames of animation depending on the slope that you're standing on. It's pretty cool. I always like that about it.
I think Don the Nintendo Freak was asking what are our names. I'm Try, Try, or Triforce. You can also call me Try4C. It's how I usually go on the internet. And Coury is just Coury, except it's spelled Coury.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're on My Life in Game. We stream usually with both of us on camera, but we stream every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. Because we're YouTubers first and foremost, and streamers kind of second, I guess. But we're very consistent with our streams every Sunday. We're like all the years we've been doing streams, which, I mean, it always surprises me how long we've been doing it. Like, we've only missed, like, you could probably count them on
probably like 10 total, I would say, like in 6 years or something like that at this point. Oh, we got some invincibility.
I see Dragon Quarter in the chat is saying Coury and Try, heck yeah, which Dragon Quarter, I'm looking forward to playing through that, but I haven't I actually haven't beaten any of the Breath of Fire games yet, but I know Dragon Quarter is the divisive one, but it's also like conceptually so interesting, and I think the highfalutin sorts of Breath of Fire fans prefer Dragon Quarter.
It's built for multiple replays.
Right. I mean that's what you got to keep in mind.
I always felt really bad for this Brontosaurus because it just like
he just looks like he's really struggling.
Well, no, he gets like blown up. Watch his skin. Look at him.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like leaves this bloody carcass.
Is this level in the Genesis version? I don't remember it. I just don't remember this level.
I thought I was done for there. Here we go, final level, but this is where it gets really tough. There's one.
You're still on your first credit?
I've used 3, I think. I put in 4 credits.
Oh,
I put $1 in at the start, but now we got I think this level is called the Third Moon. But this is where it gets really difficult. because the gravity gets all weird and it's very easy to just to fall into the sky.
I really don't remember what was my hang up with this level, why I never finished it on Genesis, but I really like that sky gradient. It's kind of gives me like an Atari vibe, except much vaster.
Yeah.
I love Atari gradients. Is there any dithering using that sky? It's hard to tell for sure with the stream compression, but I don't see any.
There is no dithering on there.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, hey, like I say, CPS 1 is doing what Genesis don't, for sure.
This is basically right here. This is like the toughest part of the game, I think.
Well, I mean, it is the last level. I mean, that I would assume that would be the intent in most games, to make the last level the hardest.
But just this part is really tough to do.
When you guys were younger, what was the first arcade game you played in the arcade? Also, I wanted to say that the game that came with Capcom Arcade Stadium is 1943, the Battle of Midway. And Capcom decided to add in another game for free, which is Ghosts and Goblins for free. But if I remember, I think I read that Ghosts and Goblins is free only for a limited time. So if you do want that, go ahead and download it. But first arcade game we played when we were younger, gosh. I mean, the one that I remember most vividly is Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's.
But I did not frequent the arcade as much as Coury did.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it on our channel a lot, but you know, it was really Space Harrier that made me fall in love with games, I think, and that's easily one of the most memorable early arcade games that I played. I mean, I guess I was, when the Space Harrier came out, 85 or 86, so I was 7 years old at that point. So, I mean, I'm sure I played other stuff.
Yeah, our arcades for me were always like, you know, Mom's at the mall. I don't want to be here, but at least there's the arcade.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think I have. You know, I love arcades, but you know, especially now because we don't, you know, have them as much anymore. So it's always a treat when we, you know, do get to experience a game in an arcade. But you know, I never learned to use. I never learned to use like a joystick all that well, and to this day, I'm not that comfortable with them. You know? So I'm glad that, you know, when these arcade collections come out, I can play them with, you know, a D-pad. You know, I have to admit, you know, I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but I really like the button D-pad on the Switch. And I don't know why. I feel kind of bad. I feel like I should not like that, but like it to me, it's very responsive, and it's difficult to hit the wrong input on it. You know, you're not likely to hit a diagonal you didn't mean to.
Right.
And, you know, it doesn't feel uncomfortable for my fingers to go over those buttons. I mean, it seems like most people don't like that, but it works just fine for me.
See, this is kind of a boss rush right here.
Now, you know, the other stream that I participate in is the Backloggery streams, which are here on Twitch.
Shoot.
On Mondays, and you know, I'm one of the co-founders of the Backloggery.com game tracking site, and whenever we stream arcade games on there, you know, we've kind of come up with our own rules for you know, I mean, if you just, you know, have the power to infinitely enter quarters into, you know, an arcade game, you know, it's kind of meaningless, right? You know, so it doesn't feel like an accomplishment. It doesn't feel like you can mark the game beaten on your Backloggery, you know, if you just beat it on free play with no restrictions.
See, this
so
is
we
gonna be my brick wall
always,
right here.
what we do is, we'll start off the game. If it's a 2-player game, we'll start off the game with 1 credit per player. And then after we die out for the first time, we remember what is the furthest that each of us got in the game. And then if we get at least that far, then we get 1 more credit for the next run. And then so every time you have to make at least as much progress as you did the previous run to earn another credit. So that way you are kind of forced to, actually learn the game a bit. You get a little familiar with its levels.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it should be, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't do that, then you're going to forget so much about the game because you just blew through it. But I think that you walk away with much more. And I also love this T-Rex fighting the gorilla. Or are they both fighting you? I don't know, but it's awesome.
Yeah, well.
I don't think I got this far.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Let me start here.
I don't think I got this far in the Genesis version. I got to I got to that part with like that thing in that sort of gravity chamber.
Okay. On this level, or because that's on the on level 3 as well. See, I think that I have to. That's gonna send me back here each time when I fight the Grandmaster.
I see on that that Moo bot in the chat is indicating that the marathon has run since 10 a.m. Pacific time, huh?
Yeah.
It's going to 10 a.m. Do you know who's following up after our slot?
I'd have to look at the schedule. Jeez.
Is the schedule posted here?
Whew.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, My Life in Gaming, 6 to 7. It looks like. Hang on a second. I can't. These are small images, so I'm having a hard time reading them. I think it says the Blacktastic is next, playing Powered Gear.
Oh.
Strategic variant armor equipment.
This is kind of tough.
Yeah, there's a big old.
I know this is
cast of people that participate in this. So I see Proton John.
Yeah,
he's on here. He's a longtime backloggery person.
Yeah, he does the fortune cookie streams a lot.
Yeah,
right?
the fortune cookie streams that came from the backloggery.
I'm having a real hard time here. Oh, I got him. Oh, then there's this guy. I forgot it.
Sidearms. You say nobody's heard of it, but I was playing the PC I was playing the PC Engine version of Sidearms the other week. It was pretty interesting.
I like that this game has a lot of full dialogue.
Sidearms kind of reminded me of Forgotten Worlds, in the sense that it's like you're a human, in a shooter, where you can, fly in all directions. Although I guess you're more like a robot in that. But,
Oh, see, I knew it was going to do that. Oh, maybe not. It sends me back to this guy, and I gotta go through this thing every time, I guess.
Oh, hey, we got Proton John is in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Says, always grateful to Backloggery for the idea of fortune cookies. Why your logo's always there. No, I see. I'm actually logged into Twitch right now
Oh,
on the
as
Backloggery account, so that's why Backloggery is bolded in the chat when John wrote it.
That's fun. I mean, I think I remember seeing you talking to him at MagFest one year.
Yeah, we hung out at MagFest a few times, yeah. Gosh, it's been so long since we were there.
I know. All right, let's
Wonder if Battletoads was inspired by this. Oh, like the riding the snake?
Yeah. Well,
maybe it's possible.
oh, did I just? Whoops. Whoops.
I didn't know this game had a
Oh,
boss
that's.
rush.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Wait, what happened?
For some reason, I thought that I thought you got a permanent game over if you die in the last boss. Like you cannot continue.
Ooh, that would be harsh. Maybe maybe they tweaked it. Maybe. I definitely know of games that do that. I know I've heard Ghostbusters on the NES does that, which is.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's one of the few NES games I had as a kid that I've not rebought just because I'm like terrified of the idea of having to try to beat it. But like part of me wants to go back and tackle that and Mickey Mousecapade, which is one of those early Disney Capcom games, which
that's right.
It's not as good as the later Disney Capcom games that ended up in like the
because of the piranhas. I didn't fall in the water in the piranha or in the Amazon level, where all the piranhas just like kind of swarm you. There it is.
You're getting some fake Chivos, I see.
Yeah. So they're called Triumphs in this.
S-Thing.
There it is, and this is the ending credits is Strider standing on a whale.
I mean that's like got a very like. I mean it almost looks like that could be like a shot from like an anime or something. Like it looks like like the way that those like the waves from in the water are.
I see that this had a very good, a kind of a spiritual successor. Who is it? Like the main planner for this, Koichi Yatsui, went on to do a very excellent game called Cannon Dancer, which is kind of a spiritual sequel to this.
Oh,
that never got a home port of any kind, or it's also known as Osman.
My go-to Strider like is Run Saber on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, that is very very inspired by Strider. Run Saber is.
I love Run Saber.
So I'm gonna play again. What I think is kind of fun is that these games have a fast forward mode and a slow motion mode. And it speeds up the sound samples too. And it's especially funny in this. Let me just turn it up a little bit for everybody. Man. Oh, it's not. Well, it's not doing the voice unless maybe I need to turn something off. Hang on.
So is speed up a toggle or do you hold it?
Oh, you know what? That's why I was doing it. Hang on. I was playing the Japanese version. The Japanese version has sound samples.
Oh. So, well, you should switch versions.
Yeah, I just did.
Played through. Yeah, why not? Oh, you classed up in the arcade. I think it's so interesting how I was really surprised when I booted this up and saw that it had like the RE engine logo. And, which I assume is, mostly for the actual like arcade cabinet. I mean, it's a pretty neat little presentation they did with that. But I was just, it's surprising to see RE Engine on the Switch, even if it's for something, you know, comparatively simple.
Wait, hang on. I want everybody to hear this sped up.
I can't hear it.
I know. I want people to be able to hear it.
What does the sword sound like slowed down? Because it's a very distinct, very shrill sound normally.
Yeah. Well, in the Japanese version, he goes ha ha every time.
Oh, which do you prefer, the shing 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 or the ha ha?
Well, it has the shrill shing 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 every time you do it, but he also yells every time.
Oh, is this correct? Don, the Nintendo freak in the chat, saying, "I'm sorry. Is anyone going to bring up the fact that Coury died to the final boss, but the final boss died and yet he still won? Is that what happened?"
Yeah, I mean, I died and he died at the same time. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just like a typical Strider thing. Like that just
that that happened to Drum on the Backloggery stream. He did a bonus stream. I wasn't there, so I didn't see it, but he showed me the highlight where he was playing. Oh gosh, what was he playing? I'm drawing a total blank on what the name of the game is. But he it's kind of like Rolling Thunder, except it's not Rolling Thunder.
Oh, you're talking about isn't it like Codename Viper?
Codename Viper, that was it. He
I always loved the box art of that game.
He and the final boss killed each other at the same time, and it actually gave him credit for it.
That's very nice of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's not something you would often see in an NES game. I like how the moon has. Can you go? It's probably too late. Can you go back up the building? Like the moon is like in a totally separate layer from the star field, so like it makes the moon look like it's really close.
No, I won't be able to see it. I wonder if the checkpoints are not as nice in the Japanese version.
For some reason, all of the people they're like jumping into this thing from those chairs. Like it makes me think of the boss that like throws all the humans at you and Sin and Punishment.
If nobody has ever played the HD version of Strider, the reboot.
Oh yeah, the one on like PS3 and 360.
And PS.
Oh, there's a PS4. Yeah, PS4 version.
It's actually it's pretty good.
It's like a Metroidvania.
Yeah. But what I like about it is it takes elements of the NES version and also of this game, of this and Strider 2. You know, the design of Strider changed with Strider 2. You know, they made him more of a ninja, and with his long scarf and everything, and that's the version of Strider that was. Actually, it might have been Marvel vs. Capcom, because I think this Marvel vs. Capcom 1 came out before Strider 2 did, and maybe they made Strider 2.
Is Strider 2 only a PlayStation game, or is it also an arcade?
It's an arcade game. But that's everybody knows Strider based on how he looks in those games, or specifically in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. And the reboot uses that design for.
I mean, this is what I know as Strider personally. Although in the NES game. In the NES game, there's like some character he talks to on the monitor that always makes me think of Master Miller from Metal Gear Solid.
Man, I did not kill Solo that time, and he's just haunting my dreams. Okay, so yeah, I see Dragon Quarter saying Strider 2 is 99, so yeah. You know, if nobody has played Strider 2, the PS1 version is very good. And it was notable at the time because it came with Strider 1 and 2 on separate discs, and the discs were labeled opposite. Strider 2 was on the Strider 1 disc, and vice versa.
Okay. I guess Capcom has a few of those collectible errors under their belt.
Yeah.
You know, you got your old Resident Evil Revelations.
Yeah. But one of the things I really liked about the Strider reboot is that it uses some music from the NES game. You know, it remixes some of the music, and it's easily like the best music in the game, I think. It was just very cool to hear that remixed music.
Yeah, I don't know much about Strider 2. I'm sure you've used it in videos before, but I can't even think of what it looks like, really.
It's like a 2.5D.
Oh, okay.
What's Solo doing here now? Solo is just, there he is. He just shows up again.
I didn't even notice you fighting the ninja ladies last time. I mean, they're just like gone in the blink of an eye.
Strider 2 on the PS1 though, it just has unlimited continues, and you respawn exactly where you died, so you can just credit spam like through the entire game.
Pick up Strider 2 on your Vita? Is it a PS1 classic?
It is, yes.
Oh, cool.
That has both Strider 1 and 2 in it too.
Can't buy those as easily as you used to be able to. Now
That's
that
true.
The web store has changed, but you know.
That's true. You know,
it's still possible.
Capcom was a really big supporter of PS1 classics. Released a lot of heavily sought after games.
Well, like
Like
Misadventures of Tron Bonne. I mean, that's a big one.
Even just like Mega Man Legends.
That was an expensive game. Yeah, the PS1 classic of Mega Man Legends 2 was how I first played the game.
Oh yeah.
On PS.
Yeah, Virtual Console too as well. Even like the Wii U Virtual Console, you know, they started releasing stuff like Demon's Crest on it.
Yeah.
And because Demon's Crest is a fairly expensive game as well.
Yeah, I got lucky and got it when it was still like $35.
I got that.
Remember how like that was bought at you know, we were telling this story to John Lindemann when we were all together in Indianapolis, shooting some interviews, and I was telling him how like a friend from Indianapolis found 2 copies of Demon's Crest at a store in Indianapolis, and you know, bought us both a copy. And he's like, my sister bought Demon's Crest in Indianapolis. So, I mean, like, if you need a copy of Demon's Crest, go to Indianapolis, I guess.
I'm also a big fan of escape sequences like this. I love that the battleship is blowing up. And that happened last time too. The battleship is blowing up, and I have to escape off of it. Hey, I made it to...
So, do you know if all of the games on this have multi-region ROMs?
Some of them
selectable?
do not. Surprisingly, I was surprised that Mercs only has a Japanese version. It does not have Mercs on it; just has Wolf of the Battlefield 2.
I mean, I was surprised to see any regional options at all. So that's always appreciated.
Yeah, I mean that practice is becoming more and more, uh, like more and more regular. I think
Yeah, I mean,
with
I think M2 is largely to kind of thank for starting that trend.
yeah.
Which, if anyone wants to know more about developer M2, who
Yeah.
has handled a lot of classic re-releases over the years,
For
we made a doc.
Capcom, I mean they did there was a similar collection to this on the PS3 called the Capcom Arcade Cabinet, and they did that.
Oh, right. Isn't that one like almost the exact same setup where you
I think you
like
could buy like
buy the games you want? Like
yeah
you can download it for free, I think, right? And you buy the games you want, just like this.
yeah.
I knew that there was something like that on another system, but I couldn't. I forgot. I totally forgot it was Capcom. But now, yeah. So, and did you mention that? And you brought that part up. You brought that collection up, or that service up, or whatever you want to call it,
In
in
the
the M2
documentary.
documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in, well, I guess it was it 2018? We had the opportunity to go to Japan, and we actually visited M2, spent 3 days at their office, and interviewed, Naoki Hori, the president, and a whole bunch of the staff at M2, and made like a 50-some minute documentary
Well,
on
that's an hour. It's an hour.
an hour long documentary on M2, and
Mhm.
it's one of the videos that we're most proud of. So if you go to My Life in Gaming and look for that M2 documentary, yeah, it was quite an awesome experience.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of dithering in the sky right there, but it's not. It's just
Okay.
baked in. It's not. I don't think.
Well,
They're,
I think Castlevania Chronicles is the only example I can think of one where it's not baked in and it's just part in terms of a sprite based game where it's just like drawn into it rather
Yeah.
than part of the sprites, and the way that it looks when it's in motion is just so horrible. Normally I don't have a problem with dithering though, it's just part of the look to me.
Yeah.
I mean, an arcade game like this would have been displayed in RGB anyway, so.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can finish it again before I got 15 minutes left. I might be able to finish it.
Oh, looks like Dragon Quarter has seen the M2 doc. Thank you. The documentaries are definitely a work of passion whenever we can do them.
Yes. Yeah. They're not always for everybody. But when we first started the channel, that was the main thing that we wanted to do was documentaries.
Right. It was always like we wanted to. I mean, the idea behind the name My Life in Gaming was, we've told this story many times before, but the idea was, it's not about my life in gaming or Coury's life in gaming. It's not about us.
Right.
It's something that the viewer or anyone who is in an episode, the idea that they could take ownership of that term, my life in gaming.
Right.
So when we do a documentary about people, we kind of think of that as, that is their episode of my life in gaming, or when anyone watches those. Oh, and thank you for saying so, Kitty Ears. Kitty Ears says, Analog Frontiers, those are for anyone who likes video games. And that's, I am getting relatively close to actually finally finishing part 3, which is the longest episode in that by far so far. I very much meant for Analog Frontiers to be something that, people who are deeply into classic gaming can appreciate, but also something that they can share with, their friends and family members and coworkers and stuff, to say, hey, watch this. This explains this thing that
Right.
I love, and all of these aspects of it that you probably didn't even know existed. All of the hoops that people jump through to, play classic games, and their whatever format that is that they prefer to play them in. And also the value of classic games. Why
Shoot.
why are we still interested in these? What is it just nostalgia? And the answer is no. It's not just nostalgia. There are particular qualities to these games that make them worth playing,
doing so good
on
this
their
time.
own merits.
I'm almost made it to the end just using like 3 credits, but then I get here.
What options do you have in this in terms of like difficulty modes? I mean, I'm assuming you don't have like direct like dip switch access
Well,
or
there
anything
is
like that.
there's similar things I can show you. And
Hmm.
if I hit start, I can go to. Well, I think it'll start me over if I try to.
Yeah. Don't exit now. Go ahead and finish this run.
But it has like difficulty levels and the amount of lives you can have.
Hmm.
I feel like there's got to be another way to get this guy that I'm missing.
The slide in this this had to have been before the slide in Mega Man 3, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think.
People are pretty split over,
Mega.
all of the mechanics that were added to Mega Man over the course of the NES game. Is the Mega Buster really necessary? That's why, Mega Man 9 and 10, I think, went back to Mega Man 2 mechanics. But I do like the slide. I think the slide adds a lot. Mega Buster, I can do without it. It's okay.
Let me start there. I don't know.
I don't hate it, but I think it's maybe a little unnecessary.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
pretty
it
sure
did.
Mega
It
Man
gave
ni-
me the checkpoint, even though I probably shouldn't have. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind that it did. I mean, I think that there's a lot of aspects of this game that are very forgiving, especially for the time.
Yeah.
They want you to get to the point where you see those set pieces.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if every arcade game is like just so brutal that it eats all your quarters and you feel like you have no hope of seeing more, then why are you putting more quarters in? It has to. There's a balance there, right?
Right. But that was definitely not always the case. They didn't care. They wanted you to spend that money.
On the Genesis version, I had a really hard time with the sort of the platform detection on the centipede. I don't know. I mean, it's it looks like it might be a little challenging on this version too. But like you say, I mean, they're set pieces, and that was like kind of a relatively new concept at the time. Where it's just like. It's kind of like the early version of like where like a lot of treasure games would go, and
Right.
Some of those like Konami Genesis games and stuff with where they're just like almost boss rush games because it's just crazy thing after crazy thing.
There we go.
That's true. You are in space. How did you get into space? Because you did not seem to start
Ninjas, man. It's just ninjas. Ninjas can get into space if they need to.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Oh yeah, Replicant 813 saying Strider's the first arcade game that was easily beatable on like $5. Yeah.
But you couldn't take it home with you until
That's right.
now. Well, until at least until the Genesis.
Yeah. That's 8 mega power.
8 mega power.
I mean, I remember that Christmas specifically because I got the Genesis version and I finished it that day, and also I remember recording the movie The Wizard off of TV that day. Oh, whoops.
I like how there's just like a car and a cat and a dog or a giraffe and a duck.
Hang on, let's see. Okay. Do I have to restart the game to, yes. So we can check out the options here. Do I have to back out? Or do I have to go to the US version?
Select another game?
Oh, here it is. Okay, so there's game settings. Difficulty level. So I had it set at 3. I think the default is 4, though.
Oh, triumphs. That's what they call
the
achievements. The triumphs. I can get behind that.
So there's different game speeds.
I like the preview that they show behind it.
What's kind of neat
nice.
about this entire collection is that all the, they have the different display settings, but all the games have Tate mode built into it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so people that have flip grips
I
can
wonder
play
if
it.
the scaling. I wonder if the scaling would be like
if it's
if there's a possibility, like if there's a possibility that like just the way that the pixel counts work, that like Tate mode would actually be like a better scale.
It's
games.
possible. I mean,
I'd be kind of curious.
We can preview it right here.
Try to play Strider. Can you put the arcade can you put the arcade cabinet like overlay on it when it's in Tate mode? Tate mode.
Yes, I can. I mean, it's kind of amazing. Should I just play it like that? I mean,
yes.
Just for 7 more minutes, I guess.
Yes.
All
so
right.
wait, did that actually like it flipped the cabinet? Well, I mean, it didn't flip the whole cabinet,
it just
but
flipped the screen.
That's awesome, though, right?
Yeah, it's very nice that
that's the power of the RE engine in action, right?
Yeah. I mean, but it's interesting because, if you were actually playing this way, I'm surprised it didn't just flip the background or the overlay.
I know, like that's. I think it's awesome that it works that way.
Am I doing this? We're just gonna. I guess we'll.
And can't you choose like American style cabinet and Japanese style cabinet?
Yeah. Oh, I see. I don't. I do kind of want to see. Let me check. I'm gonna go out of this mode here. I'm gonna. Yeah, I just want to have the full screen, but I want to have it. And
yeah, Dr. Zaka is saying, "Oh, Tate does mean vertical in Japanese."
Look at check that out. I can even play it like that. Look at that. I can. Should I play it like this? I'm going to play it's rotated but also stretched to full screen.
Oh man. But yeah, what's funny is I actually like a few months ago I've been, over the past like half year or so, I've been, finally trying to learn some Japanese, and I kind of figured out Tate naturally because like Tateru means to stand something up. And so then I was like, oh, there's your Tate. There's your Tate mode.
Sorry, I
Dragon
could.
Quarter believes you are sinning here.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm actually surprised. It looks pretty.
It's just it's funny that they. I mean, you know what? I commend that they are unafraid to give you the power to do something so stupid.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
if
Just
you want to play it this way, you sure can. But you know, you can. What's the? You know, I've got one, and I've never even used it. The was it the flip grip for Switch? Is that what it's called? Flip grip?
yeah.
Where you can play like games like Ikaruga or whatever that actually, you know, do have Tate modes. You know, that would probably work decently for a lot of the games. So, like, you know, uh, Wolf of the Battlefield that was on here previously. You know, that's a narrow aspect ratio.
Yeah, I mean that's
Tate game. So,
yeah.
you know, it would probably, you know, that would be awesome for that. You know, you'd have a much larger picture in handheld mode, and you know, you could. I really need to actually use that thing sometime, but I haven't really ever fired up the right game to bother with it. But it's neat.
I see that somebody was asking, you know, where's Aliens versus Predator or the Punisher or Warzord? I mean, I'm assuming that there's going to be more packs released in the future, but I think that stuff like that has to do with licensing. Although I think Alien versus Predator was on that the arcade stick thing. I don't think that Capcom arcade stick. So I feel like that's probably a shoe-in to appear.
I mean,
at some point
you never know. I mean, it surprised the heck out of me that, you know, they were able to do the Disney Afternoon collection. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything.
Oh, finally!
I mean, if you can get the rights to release, you know, and the Lion King and Aladdin collection. Although I'm not sure, were the Capcom versions in that at all, or was that only the other versions?
I think it was just the other version.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that, I mean, if you can make like 8-bit, if you can get like 8-bit Disney games re-released, then you can get anything re-released. You just have to believe.
Oh, did I lose it? It went away. I mean, is there almost anything cooler than a robot saber-toothed tiger? It takes a lot to be cooler than that, I think. To just have an idea that's cooler than that.
I mean, that's up there for sure. That is up there.
Oh, I missed the moon again. Maybe
I saw it. I saw it.
Oh,
yeah. It's it's interesting how it's. I think it's in the same plane as the foreground.
I think so. So looks like we got just about 1 minute left. It's a lot of fun. Thanks to Capcom for asking us to do this.
Yeah, we're honored that you thought of us.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really cool to be able to do something with a company that I've enjoyed games made by them for almost my entire life. I mean,
yeah, I mean, same here. You know, I was playing those Capcom Disney games. You know, when, you know, I've got a VHS tape of me unboxing the Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers by Capcom on, you know, the NES in Christmas 1990. So, you know, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to be able to do this. So I think that's going to do it. Thanks to everybody who watched, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you Sunday if you go to MLiG.